Welcome to Sisters in Service podcast. Most of you know me as a strong advocate for women veterans in being recognized not only as veterans, but also as women who are changing the world through our passion of serving, even after service. This podcast is my passion by telling all the stories of military brats, military spouses, active duty, and veterans, not to forget the veteran service organizations that help us along our transition journey. I want to thank you in advance for listening. I hope that you will join me every week. A new podcast and episode comes out every Tuesday, so I hope that you will join and I hope that you enjoy. This podcast is brought to you by Small Space Pilates. Are you ready to get fit and fabulous from the comfort of your own home? Look no further than Small Space Pilates. With live online Pilates and strength training classes, a video library, and a no perfection allowed policy, you can achieve your fitness goals without ever leaving your house. Click on the link for your complimentary week and start your journey to feeling fabulous today. Welcome everyone to another episode, our latest episode of Sisters in Service. You know me, I am Kat Corchado, your host. And today we're going to be speaking about a huge subject. Huge because, ladies, whether you're a veteran or not, you're going to go through this. Perimenopause and menopause. Yes, I said it. We're talking about it. We might need a part 2 and a part 3. I don't know, Dr. LaKeischa, but Dr. LaKeischa is my guest today, and she is here to, start the conversation and trying to dig a little deeper into what it is, how we can combat it. Well, maybe we can't combat, maybe we have to live with it, but finding ways that we can make it easier. So Dr. LaKeischa, welcome. How are you?
I am well. Thank you so much, Kat, for allowing me to come and be with the Sisters in Service community. I am truly honored to be here, and I'm just ready to have this conversation. I feel like I am kind of a sister in service because this is my battle cry.
Right.
I will die on this hill, so to speak. So
we need a menopause battle buddy. Are you our menopause battle buddy?
I am that. I love that. I will take on that title. I am the menopause battle buddy. Absolutely. I have signed up.
There you go. So you're honorary Sisters in Service and our menopause battle buddy. So Dr. LaKeischa, you've probably seen her on Instagram. She's everywhere talking about this. But my question is this, you've got all your credentials and everything. You could have gone in any direction. Why was this so important that you wanted to dig into it?
Oh, that's such a great question. And I feel like I could be transparent with the sisters here. I can tell my real story. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Go for it.
So the part of my story, I call it my highlight reel. It's all oh my gosh, when I was 12 years old, I said to my parents, I want to be a doctor. I come from a 2-parent household. I'm blessed to do that. And they were both educators. And they're like, look, we're educators. We don't know anything about medicine. Find yourself in a doctor's office. And so I actually started working in a doctor's office from the age of 13 years old, all the way through till I finished college. And I went to that doctor's alma mater, Loma Linda University in California. And I remember my mother at the time when I said, I want to be a doctor, she was actually helping in a community project at a community center. And they were helping mothers, new moms, and they were helping women that were about to have their babies. And she brought home this video that was called The Miracle of Life or something like that. And I remember sitting there and I was like, oh, this is super cool. I want to be a doctor that does that. And as I, matriculated through, I went to college, got there, graduated with honors, got accepted to medical school early, got through an early acceptance program. Like I said, highlight reels, you're ticking off all the boxes. It's like,
yes.
Okay. I did change my mind at one point in medical school because you go through these rotations, right?
Yes.
And so you think, oh, maybe I'll do this. But I always gravitated back towards women's health. I always came back to my first love. And so I get out out, practice. I start, I'm there. I am the OBGYN. This is what I was supposed to be doing in life. And then life bowed me over. I experienced 2 losses in my family back to back, the loss of my father and the loss of my maternal grandmother, 10 months apart.
Oh my. I'm so
And
sorry.
that, when I tell you the rug was ripped from underneath us, and I'm talking about our family,
Yes.
we were in free fall. And I mean, all of us, because the structure changes.
Yes.
Your identity changes. You are like, okay, who am I to you? Who am I in this situation? And I had my family of origin and I had my own family.
Yes.
I'm married, I have my first child, and I'm trying to now navigate this new world. And I remember coming back from burying my father and going to my therapist's office the week after, going, okay, we're not going to talk about test taking because that's a whole nother situation. I'd actually made an appointment to talk about test taking. And I was like, we're going to talk about me losing my father. And he was like, whoa, yes, absolutely. And Kat, we are still here 15 years later. I do a check-in with my therapist. He is now our family therapist. He is my husband's therapist. My husband has his own story about that. I mean,
Wow.
it's one of those things where I really started trying to figure life out. And at that same time, I did not want to deliver babies anymore. I didn't realize that. I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. This is not where I want to be. And so I'm peeling back these layers and my own body starts changing. I start gaining weight with I'm eating air and I'm gaining weight, right? I'm exhausted. I'm crawling into bed at night because I've given all that I can at work for my patients. I have
Yes.
nothing left. I don't want to have sex with my husband anymore. And y'all, he's kind of cute and I like him. I mean, I was like, what is going on? So I decided to take a step back. I decided to take a sabbatical, had some really tough conversations, but some meaningful conversations with my manager at the time, office manager. And she was like, yeah, you need to take some time. And I did that proverbial physician heal thyself.
Yes.
Where I took a step back, started digging even more. Because of the foundation Loma Linda gave me, their motto is to make man whole. I always approach health and wellness from a holistic standpoint. And so I'm always looking at my patients as a whole person. So that foundation kind of gave me a little bit of a kernel to kind of pop and build on. And so as I dove into this world of functional medicine, of integrative medicine, of hormone balancing, it began to blossom, y'all.
Mm.
That's when I decided I can give my genius to the world in a whole different way. And now I'm Dr. LaKeisha. I'm an integrative gynecologist, hormone specialist, speaker, Amazon bestselling author of The Other PMS, Your Survival Guide for Perimenopause and Menopause. And I help perimenopausal and menopausal women get their hormones balanced, regain mental sharpness, have energy to last the entire day, and remember just how beautiful and vital they are.
See, you did it so much better than I would have, I'm just going to say. But I don't love. I just had this vision of, you're walking along in life, everything's cool, got everything under control. And then someone taps you on the shoulder and says, oh, hey, I just want to introduce myself. I'm perimenopause, and this is my big sister menopause. We're going to whip your ass.
I love that analogy. I'm going to use that from now on. Excuse me. I need to introduce myself because we're about to be part of your family. And you need to introduce us to everyone in your household.
Yes.
It affects everybody.
Yes,
and
it does.
To your job. You
Yes.
need to take us to all the clubs you belong to. You need to take us everywhere because, hello, we are now your new best friends.
So, Dr. LaKeisha, why is it so difficult? And I think I might know the answer, but why do other physicians don't want to, talk about this? They don't want to at least try. Is it out of their realm? Do they don't want to deal with it? Is it because the symptoms are so different for each woman? I mean, what is it exactly? Why do we not talk about this more?
Yes, and all the things you just said, yes, and. So part of it is that women have not been studied as extensively as men. I had a conversation with Dr. Carrie Jones. She is amazing, and she is my mentor, and she's a hormone guru. And she was saying to me that women were excluded from studies, if you go back and look at the history, because of our cycles.
Yes.
Because of the hormone fluctuations, the researchers didn't know how to put us in categories and confine those factors and be able to put these in as endpoints. So they only studied men, and then we extrapolated from men to women, which you shouldn't do. And so now you have, this is part one of that question. Now you have physicians that are trying to see evidence-based medicine, and it's not out there, so they don't really have a foundation. The other thing is that we are not taught in residency any of this, so you have to do this after you've gone through 4 years of medical school, after you've gone through your residency training, after you may have done fellowship training, and then you decide if you have time in your day, and is this important enough to do some of the extra CMEs, that's the continuing medical education. The other part is that there was the big study done that WHI initiative, which was the Women's Health Initiative, had 3 arms to that. And the hormone study arm really impacted what is available and how this is talked about in the health circles. So that was my first year of residency when that came out. My program director comes into morning report, that 7 a.m. Meeting that we have, and she's like, oh my gosh, this was FedEx to my house. And they had to halt the study because the data appeared to show an increased risk in some damaging endpoints that they said were not, we need to stop this because it's just not ethical to go on. Well, we looked at the data here recently, I believe it was 2022, and that's when we found that there was no statistical significance over you being a woman in any increased risk of, for instance, breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to understand that study looked at synthetic hormones.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's a whole separate conversation. And you still have those of us that were raised on that study. So you have to think, I've been in practice now for over 20 some odd years. And I, as an intern, was influenced and told, get all these women off the hormones. But we weren't given an option to give them anything different. It wasn't like, okay, now we're studying this. Now we have this as a tool. So this is part of that complexity of being able to have these conversations. And now, in my opinion, I believe that some of the symptoms that we show up in our primary care doctor's office with, such as joint pain, weight gain, brain fog, itchy skin, breaking out. Now all of a sudden I'm allergic to stuff. What is this? My ears are itching, or I'm having vertigo, or I'm having tinnitus. I have this ringing in my ears. Yes. Are all signs of hormonal dissemination, or not dissemination, of hormones decreasing. And because it's such a variety of symptomology, this is one of those puzzling pieces.
Yeah, it's really frustrating. I remember going to my doctor and they wanted to give me the synthetic hormone, and my body was like, or I should say my gut instinct was like, no.
Exactly.
And I think that one size fits all, that I think that's what they want to do with women, is like give them one thing and it fits everybody. But I think what's so difficult is that all of our symptoms start off differently. And it isn't until you're in the middle of everything that you go, oh, wow, maybe I'm in perimenopause. By that
Okay.
time, you've got hot flashes galore. You're throwing the cover on, you're throwing the cover off. Your husband or significant other's getting dizzy.
So confessions of
And
a
at that point, you
perimenopausal
don't even know what to
doctor.
do. You don't know where to get answers.
No, no. I was raising my hand because Confessions of a Perimenopausal Doctor is one of the segments I do on my show. And it's because I had to have my own come to Jesus conversation with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you said, there were these little things that started happening. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
One of my recent symptoms is phantom smells. And I'm just like, do you all smell that? And they're like, no, what are you talking about? No. And I'm like, right in this spot, right here in the house. Don't you smell that? Like, what are you talking about? Or itchy skin, just
Mm-hmm.
super, super
Super
itchy.
itchy. Yeah.
I said, if your patient walked in and said to you, Dr. LaKeisha, these are my symptoms, what would you tell them? And I had to say, okay, you are now in that cohort. Remember your age and just be truthful with
Mm-hmm.
yourself. And like you said, it's such an array of symptomology.
Mm-hmm.
It's such an array.
It is. I think that, I tried when I finally figured out that I'm probably in perimenopause, getting the hot flashes, and you think, okay, well, I can read. I'm a reader. I'm a lifelong learner. I
Mhm.
want to learn, learn, learn. So I'm looking up all this stuff. And, you look up all these things that could possibly help, you know, symptoms like black cohosh and stuff
Right,
like
right,
that.
right, right.
And, when I tell you I was getting hot flashes, you could fill a bucket with water. I mean, I'd be sitting there talking to you and I'm just like, and they're going, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And I was okay. And I was dumb enough, Dr. LaKeisha, to think that I could ward it off. I'm like, oh, maybe I can, I can feel it coming and I can stop it in its tracks. Yeah, see, that's how silly I was. Yeah, once the cycle goes, you might just
Once
well
that
ride
train
the
has
roller
left the
coaster.
station, you just better hold on
It's
and
like
go,
trying to get off a roller coaster in mid cycle. You're like, yeah, no, that's not happening.
yes,
And then you talk to women who are like, oh yeah, I took this and I was fine, or I had no hot flash, and I just want to punch them in the throat because it was so bad with me. So
exactly.
why are the symptoms so all
I
over the place?
I wish we had some more information to be able to answer that question, because that's one
Mhm.
of the questions. The other question I get asked all the time is, how long is this going to last?
Yes.
So
And that's not a nice answer either.
no. I mean, we know that perimenopause, which is the time
Mhm.
around menopause, can last 5, 7, 10, 12, 15 years before you actually go into menopause. And
That's longer than a lot of marriages and relationships. Like, really? I don't even like you
absolutely.
and we have to be friends.
Absolutely. That's why she and her friend said, you need to introduce me to everybody in your life, because we're going to be here for a while.
Yes, we're gonna know each
Moving.
other very well.
Yes, yes, yes. And this is, what we do know with some of the studies that have come out. I think there's the Swan study that is still going on, that ethnicity does play a role in the length of the symptomology. So, for instance, we know that African American women can have hot flashes on an average up to 7 years longer than our white women or even Asian women. And then I think next is our Latina X women that can have theirs as about 5 years longer. And then you take into consideration cultures. There are certain cultures that don't even have a word for perimenopause and menopause.
Right.
So this is a lot of complexity here.
So, Dr. LaKeisha, can you talk about, a woman who all of a sudden might think that she's going through perimenopause, or even she had a great perimenopause and now menopause is just kicking her butt. What options do we have? And I only ask that because I had gotten to the point where my hormones were so bad, I had to go to a bioidentical hormone
Yeah,
replacement there. I had to.
yeah, yeah.
I was I couldn't deal with it
Absolutely.
anymore.
Absolutely.
And it's been my saving grace, but not every woman is really, because it's not covered by insurance. First of all, it's expensive, and it shouldn't be.
Yes.
Not expensive, but it should be covered.
Right.
But what options do we have when we get that realization? Aha, this is what it is. Now, what do I do about it?
Oh, that's a great question, Kat. And this is where these conversations come into play, because we need to amplify the conversation around this so that we can get the attention and say, hey, this needs to be covered. This is helping with me being a functional person in society, and it is helping me to be able to do what is necessary. And so, a couple of things you can do. For one, I always recommend that you find a provider that says specifically that they deal with perimenopause, menopause, hormone balancing. And then there's testing you can do. There's serum testing, or blood test is what some people recognize that as. That's, your typical, the doctor writes the lab slip, you go, you get your blood drawn. Or there's even urine testing that you can add on to that, saliva testing that you can add on. I often, always, not often, it is really part of my whole package that I put together for women that says you also need to take care of your adrenal glands.
Yes.
That is your stress
It's
pathway.
huge. Yeah, that's
It's
huge.
huge. You have to know how to be able to pour back into yourself, to be able to bring that parasympathetic nervous system back on board.
Yes.
Because when you're going through perimenopause and menopause, you stop making as much hormones that help you to actually have that resiliency as you age, and you stop making that as much. And so you need to pour back into yourself so that you have some residual, you have a reservoir. And then be open to conversations. There are supplements, there's supplementation that can be part of your toolkit, is what I call it. But make sure that somebody is being specific for you, that they have taken the time to get your history, to know your medical history, know your family history, and know what symptoms you want to be addressed.
Yes.
What's interruptive of your life? And then if there is a part of that conversation that talks about bioidenticals, that particular provider needs to help you understand what that means, what that looks like for you. How is it given to you? How do you take it? And how do we follow up to make sure that this is working for me?
And actually your lifestyle too, because the place that I go to, they did the blood work. They still do blood work like every other time that I go. I always do a questionnaire, what are your concerns? I mean, they're very, very, very thorough. And if I tell you and the audience that I went there 3 times before I decided to do something. I went in there and talked, and then I made an appointment, talked to them again, made another appointment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I decided to do the pellets because the pellets were just very easy. I didn't have to worry about a patch. I didn't have to worry about a cream. It's there, boom, done. And so it depends on your lifestyle. If you have a lifestyle that allows for something else, and you can ease yourself into it. Like they gave me all of these, ways that I could do it. And I said, no, give me the easy one. I want that one right there.
Exactly.
And so, yeah. And so it depends on your, what it is you're looking for. But I was feeling so bad. I'm like, give me something that makes me feel good right now.
right now. Exactly. And I say that, I said, and I explain it this way: pellets are set it and forget it. The creams you're going to have to do every day, sometimes multiple times a day, because of its absorption and the way you metabolize them, and how much of the bioavailability of the product we want in your bloodstream. So and there are some people that don't want to have the pellet because it's like, oh, what if something happens and I'm experiencing a side effect? How do I get rid of it? And so we have that conversation. But there is a tool bag for you to be able to pull from.
Yes.
And once you really understand the physiology of what's happening, that's my biggest thing, is that I want to lay a foundation for women to understand this is the foundation. This is where we're coming from. And you tell me where we want to go, then it's my responsibility to put in the coordinates so we can get there.
I love that answer. Let me ask you this question, because I'm thinking about my my veteran sisters,
Mhm.
how does perimenopause and menopause affect underlying traumas such as military sexual trauma or even PTSD? Does it enhance that and not in a good way?
Actually, I think it's the other way around. I think our past traumas
Mhm.
influence our physiology and will then make us go into perimenopause and menopause more intensely.
I did not know that.
That's the way that I look at it. So when I see a patient, when I see a woman, when she's doing, so for instance, her hormone hottie reset bundle with me, and she's going to do this kind of like a jumpstart 3 monther, I say, I'm going to take a trauma history. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist.
Mhm.
I do know that the body keeps the score.
Yes, it does.
And I need to know what we're working with so that I can, one, know what to manage and set expectations
Yes.
and help you then start navigating what is your next. Because I
Mhm.
tell my patients all the time, we can do all this wonderful work. I can give you all the supplements and bioidenticals, all the things.
Mhm.
But if we're not kind of getting to some of these roots and
Right.
really digging up or helping or having some other tools that help us out, we'll be right back here, same song, different
Mhm.
verse.
Wow, I just learned something today. So, Dr. LaKeisha, what kinds of lifestyle changes, have you, you know, I don't want you to give all the information away, but are there lifestyle changes that need to be changed when a woman finds herself in perimenopause and menopause?
Absolutely. I'm so glad you said that. You saw me starting to move in my seat over here, right? I am a huge, huge, huge fan of grounding. I am a huge fan of Pilates, of yoga, of things that make sure you pause and become very in tune with how you feel and what makes your body react in certain ways. So I'm a huge fan of infrared saunas.
Yes.
I am a huge fan of magnesium floats.
Yes.
So when you say what are some lifestyle things that we should do, I tell my ladies all the time, put yourself on the calendar and make it non-negotiable. So you're going to put that meeting for work on the calendar. You're going to put the kids, whatever, whatever, or the grandkids, or the spouse, or the significant other, or the mother-in-law, or the father, or everybody else, or the sister, brother, cousin. You put you on the calendar and make it non-negotiable, whatever that is.
Right.
Is it a nighttime routine that you do? That you say, these are my 15 minutes. I'm shutting the door. Don't anybody say anything. The other week, I came in and we had done a lot that day. I had to pour in, I had to be available because we had some family friends that were dealing with a tragedy. And I had gone and driven a lot that day, and I came in and I made an announcement. And we have a family chat, and I put it in the family chat, and then I made the announcement. I said, "Did everybody read the chat?" Because I'm about to go into the middle bathroom that has the jets, and I'm about to do a
Mhm.
bath. I don't get whatever you need out of the bathroom. Get whatever you need from me right now,
Mhm.
because I'm about to take 45 minutes or however long it
How long
takes
it
for the
takes,
water to
right?
get cold, because I need this. And at first they were like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" I said, "No, no, no, no. Do not knock on the door. Do not ask me anything.
No notes underneath the door.
Nothing." And I even said to the dog, "I don't want to hear you." Okay. So that's what I mean, where I say, take some time for, and sometimes when I say this, I see in my patients who are just like, what? How do something small, something very, very small. It can be, I'm going to walk after I eat my dinner, or I'm going to read for 15 minutes before I go to sleep, or I'm going to wake up just 15 minutes earlier and have a moment of meditation and silence and breath work. Or I am going to go to the local bookstore and I'm going to take this time for me. Or I'm going to become a member of this local group and I'm going to go and be a part of them and let them pour into me. Whatever that looks like, that's what I'm a fan of.
I love that because I started, I have what I call Catitude days.
Ooh,
And my Catitude day is Sunday. I get up, I have breakfast with my husband, I watch CBS Sunday Morning News.
I love it.
I come into my office, I do 30 minutes of yoga.
Yes.
And I do 20 minutes of meditation. But my meditation is to, I don't know if you've heard of singing bowls and Tibetan bowls.
Yes.
That's what I do. And then the rest of the day, I do if I want to sit in the chair and watch Netflix all day, I do. The only thing I am not allowed to do is work, anything work related. It's on the calendar. It's blocked out in my favorite color, which is purple. It says Catitude Day. And my husband will say, hey, can you blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, did you look at the calendar? He goes, oh, it's Catitude Day. And I go, yep, it's Catitude Day.
I love everything about that. I love everything about that because you have given yourself permission to do absolutely nothing. And,
yes.
and a lot of us get caught up in the I'm not doing.
Yes, absolutely. And it's so freeing. I can't even tell you, like the first couple weeks, I'm like, okay. And then you start to realize, oh, wow, it does something for you. It takes your mind. We have a lot of people might be listening who are creatives. You cannot be creative if your cortisol level is up here, your brain is going a mile a minute, and you're like, I have to come up with this by tomorrow. Absolutely. But when you give yourself that time, all of a sudden, and I always have a book by me. It's a book that I've had for my business. I've had it beside me. And all of a sudden I'll be watching TV and I'll go, oh, and I'll write it down. And I don't know what it's for, but I'll write the thought down. And then when I later go back to it, I'm like, oh yeah, I could do blah, blah, blah with that.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. And I think more women should do that.
I'm going to steal that from you.
Everyone gets a Catitude Day. Anyone listening to this podcast gets a Catitude Day.
I'm going to steal that because that when you frame it in certain ways, it gives women permission.
Yes.
To say, I'm going to do this because when I do this for me, I'm doing it for you.
Yes.
Because now I have my Catitude Day. I'm fueled for the week.
Yes.
And now my cortisol's not through the roof. I'm actually able to exchange that cortisone and cortisol and be able to give myself the fuel I need every morning. I'm able to have that moment of clarity.
Yes.
I'm able to engage better. You have that resiliency, that elasticity in your rubber band.
All of it. All of that. All of what she said.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to gift every hormone hottie a Catitude Day.
Yay!
You get a Catitude Day. You get a Catitude Day. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start.
Dr. LaKeischa, what role does nutrition play in maybe managing some of these perimenopause or menopause symptoms, or is nutrition even a thing that can help? Are there certain things that you have found work or don't work, or what are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. Nutrition plays a huge role because one, nutrition there is a science called nutrigenomics. and
Mm-hmm.
nutrigenetics. And it is the study of how food influences your genes and DNA and how your cells literally work under the influence of this fuel source. What we do know is that certain foods literally help enzymes in your body and help reactions in your body. So, for instance, we know that there is a chemical in cruciferous vegetables called diindolylmethane. And that diindolylmethane helps your body to metabolize estrogen more easily.
See,
So
who
when
knew?
so when you eat your broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts,
Mhm.
you're actually helping to push a particular form of estrogen out in your poop, basically.
Yeah.
And then I have another, I call her one of my super friends, Dr. Monique May. She's known as the physician in the kitchen. And we were having a conversation. And she said, when she looks at Chinese medicine, they talk about the cooling foods, and
Yes.
she looked at that, they were foods full of water content, like your
Mhm.
cucumbers
And
and
I
melon.
love cucumbers.
Okay,
Oh.
and she said, and they tend to eat that, and then you see the
Mhm.
incidence of hot flashes literally is on the lower side.
Mhm. Wow.
So there are foods and nutrition that can be helpful in how your body processes what needs to be processed and to be able to help you just even feel, but it's the fuel source. It is a fuel source to help you to be able to do what you need to do.
I love this. I feel like this conversation could just keep moving forward. One last question, Dr. LaKeisha. As a healthcare professional,
Mhm.
what advice would you have for our audience for women who might feel the beginnings of perimenopause, or maybe they've skipped perimenopause, went into full-fledged menopause, um, in terms of seeking some medical advice?
That's a great question because I tell patients all the time, let Dr. Google have a rest. Dr. Google works so hard. He works super, super hard. And sometimes we just need to let him rest. So I say with all, I say that jokingly, but I also say, make sure when you are out there, one of the great things is that we have information now, right? We have information at our fingertips. So you can find reputable people that can give you information that you're looking for. So I say, look for those of us that are out here that are sounding the alarm, that are out here having an amplified conversation. So for instance, you'll see me on social platforms. There are some other people that I like to talk about, Dr. Carrie Jones, Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Sarah Gottfried. These are some of these big juggernaut. They are, they're having these big conversations around longevity, which is tied into perimenopause and menopause.
Mhm.
You'll have these people having these conversations that will give you some insight. They've written books that are out there that talk about hormones and and how this looks when hormones are not balanced, so that
Mhm.
you can start really actually having control, and one, not feeling that this is made up in your head, that you're imagining things. I think
Right.
that's one of the biggest things, is that it gives you that autonomy. You go, you know what? This wasn't just conjured up in my head. I was really feeling this way. And and
Yes.
and there is a reason for this. There is a true science behind this. And so having some information, I said sometimes some information can be deadly, but at
Right.
least start having some foundation. And I say all the time, if you go to your physician and you start having a conversation and they don't feel like it's a good match, you can always fire your doctor, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you can find people that are in this space. So I say, there are books out there, there are blogs out there, people sharing their stories. So make sure when you're on the internets, if you're going through, look and see where you're getting your information from and making sure it is a reputable source.
And educate yourself, find out a little bit about what's going on.
Yes.
And then, go to someone who deals with this specifically. That's what I did.
Yes.
I had to go to someone who this is all they do. They deal with this.
Yes.
So when I went in, and I had my blood work drawn up, and she looked at me and she goes, "Oh, honey, you don't feel well, do you?"
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, bless you.
Yes,
Please help me.
yes.
Please,
I know. I have patients tell me all that. They're like, "You just read me like I was a book." I was like, "Yeah, because your body tells me everything."
So, Dr. LaKeischa, tell us a little bit about your program and how people can reach out to you.
Oh, absolutely. I have an integrative concierge practice. If you are in the Maryland, DC area, you can come and see me as a concierge patient. But I do offer programs for women that are not in the area. And so in order for us to talk and see what is available, one of my big things that I do is called my Hormone Hottie Reset Bundle Plus. And we can talk about what that entails if you make a consult visit with me at talkhormones.com. So that's the way that you can actually start, actually kind of get into, see what I do, how I can help you, making sure that I am the best fit for you.
So do you have any big things coming up where people can kind of, I know you do. I don't know why I know that, but I have a feeling.
Well, I just launched my podcast, Hormone Hottie Hotline. So
congratulations!
So Triple H headquarters is available to find on all the podcast platforms, wherever you find your podcast and get your podcast fixed. So look for Hormone Hottie Hotline, and that way. What we do is I have hormone hotties come in, share their stories. I have experts come in and give their insights. And then I have the Confessions of a Perimenopausal Doctor. That's my corner where I'm sharing my own story. Mm-hmm. And that is what's there for that in the Hormone Hottie Hotline. I do have something coming up soon with another person I'm partnering with, but I can't say it yet. So y'all just follow me.
No.
We're cooking up something for the spring.
Ooh, that sounds exciting.
I'm so excited about it. I'm about to jump out of my skin. But yes, that is so we're partnering together and gonna have something available for spring. I will tell you this, it's gonna be in person.
Oh, nice. That's exciting. I think that, and I'm just gonna put this out there. I just think that we need to, how we have podcast conferences and doctor conferences and fitness conferences. We need a menopause conference. Okay, I'm putting it out there. A menopause conference where we can talk. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet, but we need one. So, Dr. LaKeischa, I'm giving. This is your mission. Should you choose to accept it?
We're headed in that direction. We are headed in that direction.
We need one so bad. We need one.
Because I'm here in the Sisters in Service community. Y'all are getting this, like, y'all getting the scoop. So the spring event is going to be our launching pad for moving into something of what Kat is talking about.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Dr. LaKeischa, this has been so enlightening. I almost feel like we need a part 2. But I don't want you to give away all your secrets, but we need to talk about just the things that happen to our skin and our hair and our nether regions,
Yes. So I do have a VIP group where I do dive into these topics a little bit more. So if you go to Hormone Hottie's Facebook group, all you have to do is ask to join. It's just a private group so that I can talk more openly about those. I do a Friday wrap up, and I do. So last week we talked about hair thinning and what's going on there. So
I did join the Hormone Hotties hotline. Well, no, whatever she said on Facebook.
The Hormone Hotties group. Yay!
Yes.
Awesome.
Dr. LaKeischa, this has been so enlightening. I've learned stuff, and I love it when I learn new things that I didn't know. Maybe somewhere down the line, if we have this little conference, I'd be like, I'm in. I will fly there because we need to start having these conversations and helping us
Yes.
and talking more about this as a group and hearing other people's stories, so we feel like we're out there on this menopause island by ourselves.
Exactly.
And that's how it feels sometimes.
Exactly.
That we're just out there, and you don't want to like, hey, are you having hot flashes? And they're going to look at you like you're crazy, but to have this conversation and know that other women are having it, have had it, or are in the middle of it, and knowing that you're not alone. I think that's the best part of it, is knowing that you're not by yourself, and that this is, I won't say unfortunately, but, I thought that maybe I wasn't going to go through all this, but maybe that's what I get for thinking that. I thought maybe it'll just bypass me. I thought that about my menstrual cycle too, because I was the last one in my group. Sorry to get too much information, y'all. I thought that I had skipped it. I thought, oh, Mother Nature just looked over me, and I'm like, yeah. And girl.
She's like, excuse me. Let me introduce you to somebody.
Exactly. I'm going to be with you for the next 10, 20 years. Just saying. Oh, Dr. LaKeischa, this has been great. Thank you so much for being a part of this and enlightening me and our audience. And for everyone else, thank you so much for listening. And as always, please stay safe. Take care of each other. Until next time. And remember, it's never too late to start your impossible.